Greetings everybody, welcome back to I Dream of Indie. This is Ole Gamer Joe here with another review for you today. We're looking at Söldner-X 2 Final Prototype Definitive Edition on the PlayStation 4. Releasing as of November 4th of 2020, the game was developed by SideQuest Studios, allows for up to 2 players. It was published by SHMUP, and it is an arcade-style side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. It's funny with shoot-'em-ups here at the channel, we'll either get a bunch of them all in at once, or we don't get any for a while at all. But regardless, Söldner-X 2 is here. This is a game that has been around for quite a while, but now we get this definitive edition, and there's also going to be a physical edition of this title available as well through East Asia Soft, so if you're into physical collecting, be on the lookout for that. First of all, I have to tip my hat here. This game actually does include a decent amount of story. They went the extra mile to try to write a lore here, and it's actually not half bad. Obviously, you don't always play these games for the storyline, but in this case, it's at least intriguing. The game picks up at 3104 AD, and a virus war has come to an end. The Söldner ship prototype has returned to Earth for now, as all is well, but it won't last long because splinter factions have formed opposing the Planetary Union. One nasty faction in particular, known as the Darg, attempts to take over all of the defenseless units out there in hopes of world domination. In order to stop this new threat, scientists need to create even bigger and badder ships to combat them, and that's exactly what they end up doing. So thanks to these awesome scientists, you get to fly a brand new Söldner-X prototype designed to wreak havoc and save the day. This is not a complex video game, as you might have imagined, but there are a decent amount of tutorials built into the experience, so I can definitely appreciate that. And you're also able to compete for high scores on leaderboards, change the difficulty between 3 different settings, and even change the vibration function if it's a little too strong for you. You can experience Söldner-X 2 in co-op if you so wish, which I always appreciate. I love playing shoot-'em-ups with friends. And you can also go through 10 different levels in total, though actually unlocking these levels, it's interesting because you have to collect keys that are scattered across the levels in order to unlock new ones, and they can be fairly well hidden, which adds a little bit of replay value. You do also get to choose between 3 different ships in this title, all of which play a little bit different from one another, and you can actually switch between 3 different guns while you're playing, right on the fly. You have a bounce shot, a scatter shot, and a spread shot, and of course you can eventually build up a meter in order to unleash wave attacks and giant screen-filling attacks. You will of course be building up your score as you progress further and further into these levels, and there are score multipliers to help you get higher and higher scores. And it's not just about trying to get through the 10 different levels, as you will also unlock different challenges for you to take on. These can range from trying to get through a level on a set number of lives to trying to score a certain amount of points. It's really unlikely that you're going to see all 10 levels in one playthrough, so it is more likely that you're going to have to play this game over and over again, which is not a bad thing. There's a decent amount of replay value here between both doing the challenges and just trying to get all 10 levels. This game is full of plenty of action, and it's very responsive. I found that the controls were smooth, it was easy to switch between the 3 different weapons, and the game can really challenge you if you want it to. So overall, I thought the gameplay was great as far as shoot-'em-ups go. The 60 frame per second target here really does help the fluidity of this game, and you'll fight some giant bosses. That's also a lot of fun. They have different weak points for you to hit, and there are hardly any hitches whatsoever. I don't even think I encountered one, so the game runs great, and it plays pretty great too. As far as what's new here in this definitive edition, if you have played the original, well, you have a few different things. For one, the DLC is now included in the base game, so you'll have access to all of that. You have replay sharing here, and then you have the online scoreboards that I mentioned a little bit earlier, so you can compete on those and against your friends as well. They have also updated some of the weapon and boss effects in the game. And on top of all of that, you also have a tweaked difficulty, and it's been rebalanced in certain ways, as well as a gallery mode that is brand new for this version. So just as the title implies, this is the definitive way to play this title. As far as the actual graphical presentation in this one, it's pretty good. It does look like an older game, obviously, but they've given it a bit of sheen. Again, getting that 60 frames per second is great, and the bosses all look pretty big and detailed. Tons of giant explosions. Your ships look pretty cool. The enemy design aren't half bad. A little bit on the generic side. The backgrounds move at a pretty blistering rate, but they didn't make me dizzy. I think the game looks pretty solid. As far as the soundtrack in this one goes, it's actually really great. Some good high energy tracks like you would expect out of this genre, and some smooth tracks that are kind of chilled out but still go along well with the action, if that makes sense. This is a really nice, robust soundtrack. Definitely kept me invested in the experience, and all of the explosions and the different guns sound great as well. So the big question, I guess what you're here for, do I recommend Söldner-X 2 Final Prototype Definitive Edition? Absolutely if you're a fan of shoot 'em ups, and especially if you haven't played this title before, like I unfortunately had missed out on it. So it was great to be able to experience this definitive edition. It runs great, it looks pretty decent, doesn't look as old as you might be expecting. The gameplay is a lot of fun, the soundtrack is really great actually, and the sound effects work quite effectively as well. So yes, this is a good shoot 'em up to add to your collection. You can get that physical edition if you so wish, but if you want to get the digital version, it will be available again as of November 4th for a price of $9.99. So not a bad value whatsoever.
One bonus.
So what do you think? Will you be checking out Söldner-X 2 Final Prototype Definitive Edition on the PlayStation 4? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you have enjoyed our video coverage today, consider hitting that subscribe button. It helps us to bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming. There's a ton of other ways you can support I Dream of Indie right down in the description box below. Become a channel member, check out our merchandise store, hop into the Discord and chat along with us. But however you end up supporting us, it means the world. We thank you so much.